Welcome to the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Wednesday, March 8th. Over the last 7 to 14 days, storms continue to move across the Great Basin, bringing some areas of above normal precipitation, especially to California and to far western areas of the Great Basin, and then also still across much of Utah and into northeast Nevada, southern and eastern Idaho, into Wyoming. Snowfall over the last 72 hours, we've seen new snowfall in the Sierra that's been over 1 to 2 feet, and also into the higher terrain of northern Utah. And then really over the northern half of the Great Basin, we've seen new snowfall with the heaviest in the higher terrain. The snow depth is indicated on the right, still doing very well with snow depth across the Great Basin in the high elevations and also into the low elevations as well. Currently, our snowpack is still above 150 to 200% of normal across Nevada and Utah down into Arizona, and still near normal further north into Idaho and Wyoming. The satellite loop from this morning shows a deep area of low pressure dominating the west. This will allow impulses to continue moving across the Great Basin, bringing us periods of precipitation and gusty winds. This will also keep temperatures cool today. However, we will see a warm up of temperatures later in the week. Looking at the weather pattern for later today, again, we do have new snowfall currently ongoing over northern Utah, and this will continue over northern and eastern areas of the Great Basin. It will be on the lighter side, but still generally precipitation continues, also moving into the Sierra and far western Nevada. This weather pattern will continue to keep our fire potential low across the Great Basin. Looking at the transport winds today, you can see they will be quite gusty across Nevada and Utah. This will keep dispersion higher, and mixing heights will also remain higher. Relative humidity will drop to around 15% down in southern areas, but no concerns with fire potential. Otherwise, relative humidity will remain above 30%. Dispersion again will remain good across most of Nevada into Utah and the Arizona Strip and even southwest Idaho with these gustier winds associated with this system. As we move into Thursday, this system moves through. We do have another area of low pressure off the west coast, funneling in more moisture into the Great Basin, continued low fire potential. Transport winds will still be gusty, especially across Idaho and into Nevada on Thursday, but certainly lighter across Utah. Mixing heights will remain moderate to high. Relative humidity will be similar, with lower humidity around 15% down over southern areas and above 30% elsewhere across the Great Basin. Otherwise, dispersion will be higher in areas where we see some gustier winds over the western half of the Great Basin and lower on Thursday across Utah. Temperatures will continue to warm as these systems move through. We will see a better chance Thursday night into Friday of cloud cover across much of the Great Basin as this next area of low pressure moves into the Pacific Northwest. This will be a warmer system. We will see more of a mix of rain over the Sierra and into western Nevada with snow only in the very highest elevations. And then we will see a mix of snow and rain move across the rest of Idaho and into northern Utah. Otherwise, fire potential again continuing to remain low. Transport winds will really be picking up with this system on Friday. We will see stronger winds in excess of 40 or even 50 miles per hour in parts of especially western Great Basin, but also extending east across Utah and parts of Idaho. Really, all areas of the Great Basin will see higher wind flow on Friday as the system moves in with additional moisture. Relative humidity will also be increasing as the system moves through in all areas on Friday, and we will see generally good dispersion. Could see some pockets of poor dispersion, but again, the winds will be kicking up in most areas. Temperatures again will be warming this week. We'll see low or highs today rather in the 30s and 40s across most areas and in the 60s in the south, but we will see a significant warm up where temperatures will increase 10 to 15 degrees across the Great Basin, where we'll finally see highs in the 40s and 50s in many valley areas, and then highs over 70 degrees in far southern areas. The forecast amount of precipitation is shown here. The heaviest precipitation is expected in the Sierra, and again, this will be a warming situation going later in the week where we'll see some heavy rain potential that also brings the potential for flooding. So there are big concerns in the Sierra into far western Nevada for this flood potential, especially if we see this heavier rain on top of our significant snowpack. Further east, it will be still more in the form of snow mixed with rain, but not quite as heavy, but still some good amounts in the higher elevations expected over the next few days across northern Nevada, the northern half of Utah, and then finally up across Idaho and Wyoming. Moving into Saturday, this system exits. We will still have this zonal flow pushing in periods of lighter showers across the Great Basin. Otherwise, this will keep wind flow fairly good for good dispersion through the weekend. Again, more moisture moves in by Sunday as this area of low pressure deepens off the west coast. And then going into Monday, Tuesday, this system continues to push eastward, and we'll see a better chance of more widespread precipitation going into early next week. So again, the stormy pattern continues across the west and the Great Basin, so this will keep fire potential low and continue the possibility for rain and snow showers. The forecast amount of precipitation from Saturday through Monday, not quite as heavy as what we'll see in the next few days, but still somewhat heavy in the Sierra with more showery precipitation in other areas. And then days 6 and 7, taking us from Monday through Wednesday, that next storm moving in, we'll see precipitation increase in the Sierra and far western Nevada, and then spread eastward across the Great Basin. So the 7-day total, again, very significant amounts, obviously in the Sierra, not quite as much as you go further east, but still very good totals going over the northern 2/3 of the Great Basin. The 8 to 14-day outlook taking us from March 15th through the 21st still shows cooler and wetter conditions blanketing the west. So again, this storminess will continue throughout March. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Monday for the latest updates.